just bought a Polaris 2018 RZR, and I was online trying to find some reviews, and there really wasn't a lot about the 2018. So what I want to do is just kind of go over some things. I've had it for about 2 weeks. I live by the river, so it's been cold here in St. Louis, so today's like 70. I just wanted to kind of go over some of the accessories and things I put on it, some of the things that did work, some of the things that didn't work. Surprisingly, one of the weird things is a lot of the Polaris parts and accessories, they didn't seem to work well, or sometimes didn't really work at all. So I'm just gonna kind of give you a little, kind of a go around. Now for you that are registering yours as farm use, you're definitely gonna have to have one of these triangles put in the very back of yours. Instead of mounting mine, I have these little quick releases. These little quick releases on the back where they can go in there. So let me just back it up and we'll kind of go over some of the things we have on it and some of the things we don't. Climb over all this. I wish there had been a review like this before I bought it. Then I would have known kind of more of the things that can go on it, some of the things that can't go on it, because I had a ton of accessories picked out. Sun's not going to be too bright. I'll try to get back over here. Okay, so here's the front. Pretty much everything's normal. What I was going to do is I wanted to add the light guards that went on here, but you have to replace this entire piece for that little extension that goes around there. So this one didn't work. They didn't know that at the dealership until they'd already ordered it. So I just went ahead and kept this. I think it was like $300 or $400 more to replace the front and the winch. Everything has to come off on that front. I did go with the flip down windshield. I've not really had any issues with having to wash it yet. I know that's one of the things you gotta be really careful about, scratching it with the soap and water. I did go with the light bar. We tried a few different styles, but if you want this Polaris roof that you can actually see through, that's really the only one that's going to work on it. Now, there may be some different light bars, but it's going to have to sit on the top of it. They tried a few different ways to try to get it down below. Right below this area, right through here. I did put the extra storage compartment on this one too. There's not a lot of stuff that'll go in there, but I did buy a new belt. Keep a spare belt in there. Wait a second here. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see, I ended up having the rock sliders put on the side. Ended up getting these pods. Now, here's an issue that you're going to hear about if you kind of get on a forum. There's a forum online about the pods and the radio, and especially if you have the ride command. Now, the Highlifter doesn't come with the ride command, but the popping and cracking come through these pods. So when I go to turn my lights on, if my radio's on, you'll hear a little pop or crack. Now, it's not as bad as what I've heard some of the other people have complained about in the past on some of the other forums, but there's definitely an issue with popping and cracking. Polaris said that they thought it was in one of their harnesses. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but they said they're working on it. I did have the harnesses switched out to these 4-point harnesses. I heard that was a must. So out of everything that I did, that was the one thing I was going to make sure that I had was those harnesses. They're pretty cool. We tried the Polaris ones, but they won't fit because of you have to put a bracket on back here. So we had to go with I forgot even what brand this is. They were a little bit cheaper, but also on the Polaris harnesses, once you've been in an accident, it actually tears a little piece of cord right in through here to let you know. And you have to actually replace the harness again. So if you rolled it a couple times in a year, you're gonna have to replace those harnesses. Here's some rearview mirrors. highly recommend these because, as you're going to see, if you put any pods back in here, you can't see anything. And it comes with the mirror that's supposed to go right here, so you can see out the back way over here. But you can't see out the back of this hardly at all. So I would definitely suggest these mirrors. We started again with Polaris mirrors, and they were terrible. They would wobble back and forth a lot. And they didn't want to, they actually fit down here on these, and it was too low. So if you actually have those, they're not adjustable. So you could only see probably about an area right in through here. So it didn't give you a very good view, if you really wanted to look behind you, kind of a view like that. These are called seismic. I think they have 4 different colors you can put in there. It's red, green, blue. Forgot the other colors. They didn't have an orange accent color for it, where I would put it on. Let's see. I ended up going. I tried again to use a Polaris rear bumper, but I wanted to have the one that had the hitch on the bottom. Heard so many people were tearing this little tow hitch part of it off, so I wanted to add one of those rings for towing it out. It comes with this little extra clip in through here. This is called, that's a Super ATV bumper. I did go with the, give me a second here to get this off. Sorry about this, I should have, here's the cooler. Now on the Highlifter, it's going to give you 2 options. But this is the smaller one. I think it's like 49 quarts compared to the 51 quarts on the other one. They ordered the wrong one first. And again, that's a problem you get when you start getting these specialty ones. There's not a lot of information to state, which cooler should go with this one, which will work, which won't work. Again, the sliders here. I did have these little doors put in. There's a little zipper over here on the side. Little place to put your drink. Now this is a knee pad, so when you're in the vehicle, your actual knee can fit up against this. So nice and cushiony. So here's the winch out. It's gonna be your winch out. Here's gonna be your roof LED light bar. Here's the rear one. I just had these switches. I thought that switch was kind of funny to have the middle finger for the rear light, because I'm sure it'll tick someone off. I had some LED lights put on them also. I'll show you out there. So underneath, I went with the white LEDs. Here's another thing, that this doesn't have the cover that you're going to get on some of the other models, like the Dyna. I'm not sure if it comes on the regular XP1000 or not, but there isn't a cover for that. The glove box is surprisingly pretty big. What I did is I found a forum online where someone had talked about the tools that you needed to fix all the problems on the RZR. So I just put a little toolkit together, and for the most part, most of them are all in there. Okay, there's the latch you'll see right here. So it comes with 4 of them. So it looks pretty cool at night. There's the other one down there. Like I said, we took it down by the river a few nights ago. It's been pretty cold. I did go with the Polaris bag that has the jumper cables, zip ties, tire repair kit. Here in this box right here is a 2,200 pound come along. I think it's going to be worth its weight in gold, especially if you ever tip it over, or if you're just out by yourself. You can use some straps to pull yourself back off of whatever you're on. Here's where I keep my straps and a couple other things. A couple D-clips. Let's see, I did go with some other tires. These are 29.5 Outlaws. These are great, but they have only been on the road one time, and you can see where it's already started to take some of the little detectors off on the concrete and the asphalt out here. So here's what I went with these 30-inch Rocketangs. I heard these were fantastic. It's more of just kind of an all-around tire. So a little bit of mud, trail. So when I go trail riding, I'll definitely go ahead and put these on. Jacking it up is a little bit of an issue. I've been trying to find a scissor jack or something to get underneath there. I don't have to put a big board or block underneath it to get it to lift up, because most jacks won't lift that high. So that may be another issue that you may have with it. It's been a blast what little bit we've gotten to ride with it. Whenever you turn the stereo and stuff on, these will light up around through here on the inside, either red or blue, whatever color you prefer. Sound quality has been great. I went with the little 4-speaker one up here instead of the 8, just because the 8 was going to stick out so much further on each side. It kind of obstructs your view a little bit if you're taller. I'm 6'1", so I really wouldn't recommend this for anyone that's probably 6'1" or taller, or at least taller than 6'1". The leg room is a little bit of an issue that you're going to have. Another problem was we had getting the door to shut really close a lot better. They've adjusted it pretty well, but there's definitely going to be a few issues. This has the light in it at night, place where you can put your phone. Sorry about that wind. But I just want to do a little bit of a walkthrough just to kind of show everyone what I had, what I'm using to put in it whenever I go to some of these muddy parks. But I definitely would recommend a winch, or I'm sorry, a come along. A few different straps you can hook them together if you ever needed to. Obviously, the Polaris kit. I did get the Polaris. I've got it all crammed in the glove box here, but I got their little jump box too. It's really small. It fits in there great with some of the other tools. But other than that, I think I'm going to get some mats and put down in the bottom just to keep some of the mud at bay. This thing kicks mud up terrible, and as you can see, I barely have even gotten it in any mud. But those tires will sling that mud everywhere. So I went ahead and bought one of those foam cannons. I've not washed it yet. Let me do a video on that whenever I go do it the first time, just to see how clean it comes. If you have any questions, just put some in the comment box. But it's kind of one of those things, I think until you get one of these and you start getting out and getting stuck, you really don't realize everything that you need. I've seen so many people with their coolers falling out or turning over. I knew I wanted the cooler itself. I knew I wanted to have that extra little toe support if I need to get towed out from the back. But other than that, I've been super pleased. Sharp looking vehicle. I bought mine here in St. Louis at STL Motorsports here in Fenton. They did a great job putting everything on. Went through everything with a fine-tooth comb. So I've just been very pleased. I'll keep you updated. I think we have a mud park coming up in about a month and a half we're going to go to for an actual event. I'm sure we'll go to it a couple times just to hang out and get a little muddy. But yeah. This is Josh Carmen. If you have any questions, just hit the comment box.